It's Friday. Hello. Dr. Trisha Pingel here with my live Q&A. I'm going to get started in literally just a minute as you guys all jump on in. Good morning. It's really nice to be here today. I have a couple things to chat about, and then I'm going to open it up to Q&A in that moment. So welcome to all of you. Nice to see you. I see you all popping in on Instagram. Good morning. Hey, Leslie. How are you? Who do we have over on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn? Anyone? So nice to see you all here today. And thanks to all of you that show up every single week. I want to talk a little bit about anxiety today because I don't know, you guys can tell me, but have you noticed that there's just a lot more of it? And it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like there's something always buzzing in you. I know for me, I always think like, oh, there's still more I have to do today. Like there's just more I have to do. I can't like chill out. There's just more. It's almost like this need to keep running, I guess. And this worry or this underlying feeling of just, I'm not necessarily talking about full-blown panic attacks, although those are certainly more common, but more so just this idea that we're running on something. It's like we got something in our veins, like we've taken too much caffeine, but we're exhausted at the same time. Anyone else? I like to call it wired and tired. And I've seen this so much more. You know, it's always been present. I've treated it, gosh, I mean, when I opened practice way long ago, I was treating this type of thing. But it's interesting in the last few years how much more I see it. Do you guys agree? Do you guys feel this? I want to know because I'd like to talk a little bit about it if it's something that you guys resonate with. You know, I'll be 48 soon, and I look at the things that I deal with at this time in my life. You know, you're dealing with kids that are growing up. You're also possibly dealing with parents that are dying or ill, or, you know, it's like we're kind of stuck in between. It's an interesting generation to be in. But yet I have a friend in her 60s who is still stuck in that same thing. Her mom's in her 90s and she has grown kids with grandkids, and she's got these multi-generations that she's running between too. And I think we tend to just have so much going on and we look for a fix, right? We don't know what to do. And what I wanted to chat about is I was looking up currently, if you walk into your doctor's office, your normal PCP, and you say, hey, I'm feeling kind of anxious, what are the options that you're given? Anyone? Anyone done this? Or are many of you afraid to because you're afraid of the options you're going to be given? That's me. Like if I walk into the doctor's, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Cause I don't want to be like, have to go through this whole explanation about, you know, anxiety medication and whatever. And sometimes I just don't feel it's worth my time. But I think it's a valuable thing to talk about because when you look at anxiety in general, right? And you look at the options that are given to people when you go to the doctor's office. Of course, there's always medications that come into play, many of which are very addictive, and there's antidepressants, and there are times and places to use things like this. But what I'm talking about is what all of us feel, right? It's like it's there, but you're not necessarily like, yeah, give me a med for it. You're just like, can I just get rid of it naturally? Anyone else? Anyone else want to get rid of that feeling naturally? No one? Everyone's cool with that? Anyone out there? So I looked up just kind of what are people talking about when they talk about anxiety? When you go to your physician, what happens? And obviously they say go to counseling, right? Pretty much psychiatrist, whatever. And they give you likely some sort of option for a medication, whatever it may be in that moment, right? And then the other thing, there was an interesting one. It said self-treatment. So it said treatment often consists of psychotherapy, behavioral therapy, and medication, right? And then it says self-treatment. This is some things that people can do to help reduce anxiety naturally. And it says stress management, cool. Relaxation techniques, maintaining support network, and physical exercise. But there's no plan. Now, I think all of us could say, okay, we know stress management, got it, Dr. Pingel, got it. But when you go to the doctor and they say that, that's great that they recognize it, but they don't give you any answers. There's no way to do it. There's no, hey, by the way, this is how we reduce stress on the body. Or, hey, why don't we check your cortisol levels and see what the heck's going on? Hey, why don't we look at your cortisol rhythm? Why don't we talk about, are you sleeping? Are you not? You know, are you nutrient deficient? Do you have anything going on that be causing stress on the body that could be causing the anxiety? Has anyone had a primary care physician say that? Or is it just like manage your stress, breathe, do meditation, start working out, eat right, take care? That's what I've found in my history over my life is I've found it's like, well, here's your medication. And then it's funny when you go on to the explanations, it says for prevention, if you want to prevent anxiety, it says reduce caffeine. Okay. It says you should definitely check with your healthcare provider before using an herbal remedy because those can be scary. Maintain a balanced, nutritious diet, but there's no guidelines for that. Zero. Does anyone know with 100% certainty that hasn't worked with me and spent hours talking about this, what is a balanced, nutritious diet? Some of you are going to say keto. Some people are going to say paleo. Some people are going to say carnivore. Some people are going to say vegan. Other people are going to say, salad, iceberg lettuce salad with tomato and cucumber, right? Like we all have different backgrounds. We have different cultural backgrounds. We have different environments, different things that we purchase. We've grown up with different habits. So what exactly is that? Right? And then it says to keep a regular sleep pattern. Any of you have trouble sleeping? I have no doubt that you've probably tried a sleep pattern. It probably doesn't work because when you have anxiety and your body is overstimulated, a sleep pattern may not work, right? Whole food diet. Good. It's a great way to answer it. Does anyone know what a whole food diet is? Like not everyone does, right? I mean, granted, my audience, you guys probably do, right? But I mean, just in general, I look at these general guidelines and I'm like, okay, if you're going to write something like, hey, I want you to have a nutritious diet, at least provide information about that, So avoid alcohol, regularly exercise. Well, then comes the question, how much should I exercise? If I have anxiety and potentially adrenal fatigue, should I work hard or should I not? Should I walk? Should I run? Should I dance? Should I lift weights? Right? These are things that you guys ask me all the time, right? Because the medical literature on this is very vague. It doesn't really tell you. So when I was looking through this, I thought this is a great discussion because anxiety is an adrenal response. There is no question, right? It's a fight or flight response. So what that means is that it's triggering, your adrenal glands are triggering a response. Now, why could that happen? So many reasons, right? So when we say stress management, we have to know what's stressing. It's not just the external stuff. So I wanted to give you guys a little takeaway here today. This is a little freebie, okay, of where do you start? When you have anxiety or that low level anxiety, and it's probably related to stress or the adrenals, but you don't really know what to do about it. And perhaps you're not ready yet to work with me or invest in my total energy turnaround program, which by the way, starts Monday. Today's the last day to sign up. The total energy turnaround, where we talk about nutrition, exercise, supplements, and mindset. Okay. And we go through all that and I'll help you learn that. But if you're not there yet, you're like, okay, give me the bare bones, Dr. P. What do we got? Here's something that everybody with any sort of adrenal fatigue or any sort of overstimulation needs, hands down. Okay. And I offer these on my website. There's a reason my supplement line specifically is for this. So the supplements offered on there are ones that most people need. But here's the nutritional foundation and the reality of the situation. If you're having overstimulation of the body, you are depleting nutrients. Even if you're eating a whole food diet, you are depleting nutrients because the body needs these vitamins and minerals to compensate for that stressor. So here they are. My total mineral, which is a mineral, my total B complex, which are methylated B vitamins, my total vitamin C, because vitamin C is depleted directly by cortisol, okay? Which is why immune system is often affected ultimately. A probiotic, because the brain and the gut are connected. And my total magnesium, because if you are under stress, your magnesium is deficient. If you have thyroid issues, you have muscle aches and pains, you have trouble going to the bathroom, you need magnesium. Honestly. So mineral, B, C, probiotic, and magnesium, these are foundational for anxiety. Foundational. So no matter where you are in the spectrum, no matter what you're doing, who you're working with, what you're doing, these are nutrients that you are going to have to replace while you're still having anxiety. Okay. And you can't get them all from food easily, not with our food supply. It's really difficult, right? Now, at the next level, often people have asked me about my total stress support. So I'll mention that as well. That is a blend of herbs and amino acids that help lower down cortisol. So typically you take it at night to help you sleep, but you can also take it in a panic attack. You can also take it when you feel ramped up, and it will actually help you calm down. So I wanted to throw those out there because so many of you have asked me, like, where do we start? Like, if we just want to start replenishing, you can try to take all sorts of anti-anxiety natural remedies, but if you don't have the nutritional base, your body's going to stay stressed out. So then you're just fighting against something that's already there. One of the best things you can do when you're trying to address these types of feelings naturally is actually support the body nutritionally. It is so important. If you guys want more help with this, you want to know, like, you want to go beyond just supplements, send a DM, right? And I'll have my team hop on a call with you, and they can talk to you about what the options are and what you can do, because there is so much you can do. And Steve says, yes, grounding and meditation, so important, but nobody gives any advice on how to do that. And if you're only doing grounding and meditation and you're not looking at the nutritional aspect and you're not looking at where the stress is in the body, it will only get you so far. So I'm going to bet, if I asked a bunch of you out there, if you've tried meditating or grounding, probably 80% of you are going to say, I tried, it didn't work. Right? Because it's not a standalone option. It's a holistic option. It's something with everything else. You're doing it together. And it does work very well. But if you don't replenish the body with the nutrients it needs to run efficiently, then it can't overcome it. Does that make sense? So that's why mineral, B, C, probiotic, magnesium. Okay. Is this helpful to anyone? You guys have been kind of DMing me about it and writing about it. And I've been reading a lot about it and sensing and feeling a lot of it in my patients, in the people that I communicate with daily. Everyone's just kind of feeling that. No? I saw some questions and some comments. I'm going to hit those. Absolutely, says Richard. Good. Was this helpful? Yeah. So if you do, you can buy these supplements anywhere. I can say that the ones that I offer are incredibly high quality. They are physician only. Like, you can't buy them over the counter because they have a certain high quality standard. So, they don't have any additives put in them or fake oils. The vitamins are all activated. They're the right forms for absorption. So you can find those at totalhealthapothecary.com. Mineral, B, C, probiotic, magnesium, and maybe total stress support. If you want to learn more about this, you can always type quiz on any of my feeds, and it'll send you an adrenal fatigue quiz with some recommendations for supplements and grounding and nutrition and things like that as well. But if you want to hop on a phone call with my team, just shoot a DM saying, hey, I'd love to have a call, and we'll make sure that we set something up with you. Okay. So that you can learn more about what's going on. For those of you that are jumping into the Total Energy Turnaround on Monday, I'm so excited to work with you. I'm so excited. I was writing some content on labs yesterday and talking about what labs to run. And we're going to do an awesome educational session on what do these labs mean. And I'm so excited for that. So for those of you that have jumped into the Total Energy Turnaround, let's do it, man. Starts Monday. For those of you that are like, what? What's she talking about? I want to do that. You have till today. So go to thetotalenergyturnaround.com. Otherwise, you got to wait for the next round. I don't know. It'll be at least 3 months, maybe 6 months. Okay. Cool. All right. Let me take a look at these questions. Good to see all of you in here. Okay. Good morning. Do you know what causes milia on the face? I do, and I have a ton of them. Can you see them? They're getting better because I've been treating them. Yeah. So basically, think of it like trapped oil. So it's like sometimes the thing you're putting on your face is too emollient and it gets trapped. Like the exfoliation and moisturizing routine may be off. Sometimes you need more exfoliation. Sometimes you need a different moisturizer, but often it's because it's getting trapped in there. So for me, I'm very milia prone. I always have them. What works best for me is I use like a lactic acid and alpha hydroxy acid. I do plant enzyme peels, things like that, on the regular. I went to years ago, I went to an esthetician and she's like, "Oh, you exfoliate too much. You should only exfoliate once a week." When I exfoliate once a week, I get milia everywhere. If I exfoliate every day, I don't get any new ones, and my old ones get better. So you kind of have to figure out what's right for your skin, but it's sloughing off the old skin and then moisturizing without clogging anything new. And I am not a dermatologist, so I'm just going from my experience and what I've seen. But typically that's what I find. Diet wise, you could argue you could be fat deficient, you could be dehydrated. Dehydration will make milia look worse, that's for certain. So do make sure you're getting enough water, enough healthy fats, exercise so you can purge stuff and then slough off all that extra skin. Here's the one thing about anti-aging that people may not tell you. Sorry, Jessica, I don't take solicitations for other people on my feed. I have someone wanting you all to microdose on my Facebook feed. Great. Fabulous. Thanks anyway. What was I saying? Amelia. I was talking about exfoliation, right? Oh, the one thing about when you get healthier and your cells turn over faster and you start to look younger, your skin will turn over faster. So you might have to exfoliate more, right? It's like I was in the sauna yesterday and like I was like itching my skin because my skin was like, get off. Like, so I had to pull out my little loofah and wash it all off and stuff. So when your skin turnover is faster, you actually can become more prone to milia because of that. So I would definitely make sure you're sloughing. Okay, does that help? Hi, Braden, how are you? All right, you say, I'm getting prolotherapy in my neck for joint degeneration. Any supplement recommendations to help speed healing process? It's not my area. However, I have a decent familiarity with it. I know you need to let it inflame. So that's when you would avoid some of the supplementations that may also help with healing, like turmeric would be a big one. I do have a turmeric. I have an awesome total turmeric for this at my website as well, just for lowering inflammation and giving the antioxidant effect of turmeric. But I don't think you do that like for a certain length after getting injection, because I think you want it to inflame. Check with your doctor on that. I'm not 100%, but if my memory recalls. And I would say some of the things to look at, Braden is assuming from your name, which maybe isn't a good assumption, but assuming you're male, some of the things to look at are DHEA and total and free testosterone to make sure that your hormone levels are there to be able to repair, that you don't also have an underlying adrenal fatigue that will prevent the repair of the tissue. So when we're looking at repair, we do that at rest, right? Fight or flight, rest and digest. We repair and rest and digest. So if we're overstimulated and we're constantly dealing with things, we're constantly running and we're constantly doing things, we're actually not giving our body the tools it needs to actually repair. So I do think looking at your adrenal function is really important, making sure that your diet is really clean, definitely doing movement within the guidelines of what you're allowed, not being completely sedentary. Obviously, there's limitations. And then when it comes to magnesium, it'd be a fantastic thing because you're going to have muscle spasms surrounding that. You're going to have muscular tightening around areas that are healing. So being able to relax those muscles would be really important. And I would think a ton of hydration, a ton of water. There's a lot of other real focused things you can do. I'm not going to go into all of them here because I think it's kind of case by case dependent, but that's a good like lifestyle overview. And I apologize if you've already heard all that and that's not enough. If I think of something else throughout the live, I'll in the top of my head. It's just not something I deal with every single day. My husband did have Prolo, and so I have a little bit of the familiarity to it. Hi, just got your total liver support. Awesome. Total liver support detox. How many people feel like their body just needs a reset? I'll give a minute for the answers. How many? Say me, say, yep, totally. Yep, me. I need a reset. I'm actually doing a 4-month detox right now. And I very much considered offering it to you all. So if this is something you're like, oh my God, please, Dr. Pingel, send me a DM and be like, yeah, could you give me more info on this? Because I'd really, 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 really like to do it with all of you. I'm enjoying it and I actually feel great. I don't feel run down. I actually feel great. And so, yeah, send a DM if you're on Facebook. I mean, I can have Angela, my assistant, check this thread, but it's easier if you send a DM, say, send me the info, send me the 4-month info, or I'm interested in the, full detox or something to that effect. If you use the word detox, guys, there's an auto bot that will send you a link to my $49 program for a week-long detox, which, by the way, is freaking awesome because you can do it just with food. I'm talking about one that's a bit more involved, that involves supplementation. So if you get an auto responder that sends you a link to that detox, it's fantastic, but it's not the one I'm talking about. Okay. It's weird. I get these little, it helps me for you guys to type a word and it can send you some info, but sometimes it backfires on me. But if you're really interested in that, if you're truly like, yeah, I really want you to develop that, I'm working on it because I think we all need it. And it's a detox, a parasite cleanse, mitochondrial repair, and immune function lift over 4 months. Yeah. So, yeah. So send a little note that says, say cleanse. How about that? Send me a note in the DM and says, I want to hear about the cleanse. And then I'll have Angela send an email out or we'll reach out to you when it's ready. We'll get that running. Okay. I wrote down your names, but I don't know how to contact you unless you send a DM. Okay. Call it a cleanse. But yeah, there's only 2 people that said, yeah, I want it. So maybe I won't do it. Lynn Marie, you're sending it as a comment, which is awesome. But when we're done with this, go and send it as a private message through Facebook. So I get it in my message thread rather than on a below a post. Because that way it goes straight to my team and she can start, Okay. I will order all of these this morning. Thank you for the advice. You're welcome. Total Health Apothecary. And by the way, if you're ordering all of those, you're going to get 10% off because when you bundle 3 or more together, you get 10% off and you get free shipping as well if you do that bundle. So I'd be happy to get those out to you. I'll get them out as fast as possible. I've got them all in stock right now. So, okay. Question on cholesterol. Raised cholesterol. Yes, I eat good fats and cholesterol raised a couple of years. Wondering about berberine or bergamot as options to reduce. Okay, so here's the thing. Just because your cholesterol number goes up does not mean that you have to add more things. The question is, why did it go up? And what number went up? And what does your inflammatory marker look like? And what does your lifestyle look like? Okay. So the total cholesterol is just that. It's a calculation of total cholesterol. So if your good cholesterol goes up, your total cholesterol is going to go up. That's not a bad thing, right? I would look more at what are your triglycerides? Are they going up? Triglycerides have to do with more of the diet, okay? Or is it your LDL that's going up? And then I would start to ask, well, how much has it gone up? A couple points, couple things to consider. Are you in menopause? Do you have any hormone issues? Are you under stress? Anything hormonal will typically raise the LDL a few points. So is it putting in berberine to fix that? Nope. It's looking at why is it going up? Perhaps fixing the adrenals, perhaps balancing out the hormones, right? So if you're someone who's eating a really good diet and you're exercising and your cholesterol is going up, the real question to ask is what cholesterol is going up and what does that mean for me physiologically? And what is my inflammatory marker? Because you could have people with low cholesterol that still have a stroke. My dad was one of them. His cholesterol was fine, but his inflammatory marker was probably through the roof. Nobody checked it back then, right? So there's a lot of factors to consider here. Cholesterol is the backbone for hormones. So if your hormones are off, your cholesterol is going to be off, and that's not a diet issue, right? So berberine impacts insulin. So my question would say, what's your blood sugar and insulin? If those are optimal, berberine's probably not going to do a whole heck of a lot for your cholesterol. Now, is it a fantastic supplement? Yeah. Is it great for managing insulin? Yeah. Is it a great antimicrobial? Yeah. Is it a great anti-inflammatory? Yeah. Will it necessarily impact your cholesterol? Maybe not. Right? Now, if your cholesterol is high because your insulin is off, it very well could lower your cholesterol. Does that make sense? So I would really encourage you to look at the whole picture when it comes to cholesterol and not just the number. You can also do breakdowns, cholesterol fractionated particles, and look at, sometimes we have a higher LDL, but they're all a different size LDL. So, the difference between a small LDL versus a large LDL, these things matter when it comes to cardiovascular risk. Although, as we go forward in medicine, we're finding that cholesterol numbers are not necessarily the be all end all of heart disease. They're a piece of the puzzle. So I don't know if berberine would help, not knowing all those other numbers, but hopefully I gave you some things to think about and some things to look at and some things to talk to your doctor about. Yeah. Thank you, Lynn Marie. I appreciate it. Naya. Yeah, it is amazing, Naya. So yeah, I see all you guys saying cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. Put it in my DM. Type cleanse in my DM. I'll figure it. We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you next week. Okay. We'll get it figured out. You can also call my office and leave a message if you're like, I can't figure this out. That's all on my website. Do you know any way to build bone in the mouth? I mean, I don't know. The reason I'm hesitating is I don't know how you would target it to the mouth specifically. I might have to rely on a biological dentist for that question. I know how you would build bone in the body. I just don't know how you would direct that to the mouth. And I mean, bones are built from minerals, and it's not just calcium. In fact, that's probably the least needed. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is, although it's getting better, is, oh, I have osteoporosis. Oh, I have bone loss. And people say, oh, make sure you take your calcium. Look, we're not calcium deficient as a nation. We're not. Calcium's in everything. What we are deficient is magnesium deficient, vitamin D deficient. We're deficient in little minerals like strontium, boron, manganese. Once again, my total mineral has all the small little minerals in it. And you'll notice calcium is not a huge component of it, right? It's in there. But so is zinc and magnesium and selenium and manganese and chromium and molybdenum and potassium and vanadium and boron, right? Because those are all really important in the body, and bone building being some of it. I don't know of anything direct to the mouth. If I get information on them, I'll share it. See if Tony Ingram might know. Engram, Engram, Dr. Tony, Toni, Ingram. Maybe she has something on her feed on that. She's a biological dentist, functional medicine dentist. Leslie's ready to go. I'm ready. I'm ready to formally meet you next week and get started on the program. I'm psyched. Do you recommend taking liver support after getting Novocaine? Absolutely. And always speak to your doctor before implementing any supplements. I'll just say that. But yes, absolutely. But always speak to your doctor. Thanks. Big health seeing doc today. Okay, good. I caught up on Instagram. How'd that happen? Okay, what's going on over on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn? Hello. How are you? How are you? I got about 10 minutes left. If you have any more questions, this is the time to hit it. Otherwise, I'm going to start talking about stuff that I just want to talk about. We put a lot of content in today already, haven't we? Cheers to that. I think the cleanse will be fun. And if you guys really do want to hear about it, you let me know. Okay. I think it'll be fun. I'm doing 4 months and I'm on week 2 and I feel great. So we'll see how it goes. That's kind of the fun part is, my patients always laugh at me because they'll be like, well, have you tried this? And I'm like, well, if I haven't tried it, I can't recommend it. So whenever there's something like this, I always do it myself so that I know, like, what the heck am I getting myself into and what am I getting people into? I think that's why a lot of us go into medicine. A lot of us in the naturopathic and functional medicine side is that we've been where you are. We know what it feels like to be ignored or to be dismissed or to not have the root cause looked at. And so we heal ourselves and find ways to heal ourselves. And then we share those messages and that knowledge is with you. We've got the medical background to know and supervise and understand what happens in the body. And we've got the personal background to understand what it feels like to be sick and not feel well. I look back at pictures of me from 10 years ago and I look awful, just so sickly and run down. And you can see it, the vibrancy and the sparkle in my eyes is gone. And at that point, tons of anxiety, tons of depression, totally nutrient deficient, not sleeping, tons of stress, no idea how to ground myself, literally hated what I saw in the mirror and didn't give myself the credit for who I am as a person and the gifts that I was given in this world. And there's a real value when you can shift your nutrition, your exercise to build muscle, right? Look more at muscle building and fitness rather than weight, right? And then get the right supplements on board to replete the body so it can do what it needs to do. And then really reset the mindset to bring that sparkle back in your eyes. That's my favorite part of working with people is, yeah, it's cool to see their numbers change. But when I see the sparkle come back in their eyes, it makes my eyes sparkle. So thank you to all of you who have allowed me to witness that transformation because it's awesome. Hello, Shauna. Enjoyed your podcast with Dr. Stein. Oh, thank you. Yes, I just did a podcast with Dr. Stein. I'm going to post it directly to my feed. It was in my story the other day. I got to post it directly. You can also check her out, but I'll get it on my feed so that you guys can listen to it. It was a great conversation. And we talked about mental health. We talked about anxiety. We talked about what I opened this with today, how there's just so much more anxiety and there's really so few answers. It's like almost flippant. It's like, oh, we'll just reduce your stress and sleep more. And you're like, yeah, thanks, doc. Like I haven't thought of that. Like, what am I supposed to do that? And then I think when we say reduce stress, we're not understanding that what we're talking about is repairing the adrenal glands. And that's more than meditation. That's more than breathing. Now, those are parts of it, not discounting the efficacy of breathing because it's incredible. But there is so much more. You have to replenish the nutrients lost. You have to change your mindset about what you allow in, right? So that you can get your sparkle back. That's what I want. I want people to sparkle. I want them to shine. I want them to look in the mirror and be like, damn, I woke up today. There was someone the other day that said, what are your wins today? And I said, my win is that I woke up today. And everyone's like, and I'm like, no, really. I woke up today. I woke up and I have an opportunity to change the world today with every single person that I encounter. Anyone I run into, someone at the grocery store, here in the live, my kids, my husband, my neighbor, my friend, my dog. I get to interact with people today and hopefully leave some sort of positive sparkle on their lives. And that's awesome. Not everybody gets to do that. Gotta sparkle. I think that's be my new word. I think I need to put that in my tagline. It's time to sparkle. What do you guys think? So grateful for you sharing. Thank you. Shauna says, I'm working on my anxiety OCD. Thank you for sharing your story. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's so much you can do, really. There really is. So, if you guys ever want my help, just reach out to my team. We'll get on a call. We'll tell you what the options are because this is all in your control. There is. I mean, the problem is there's so much information out there that it's hard to do on your own, right? Like, oh yeah, I need to reduce stress. Oh yeah, I need to do this. But then there's like all this information about how to do it in different ways. And it's like, it just gets confusing, overwhelming, and you quit, right? So that's where someone like me comes in, or someone like Dr. Stein, or, that's where we come in, is to jump in and guide you in the right order at the right time and keep you on task so that you can actually accomplish something. Like my program that starts on Monday, is 90 days and you're with me for 90 days. I will make sure that you are there. Like if you show up, I will be there. Right now, if you don't show up, I can't help you. Right. But if you're there, I'm 100% in, man. Like, let's do it. Let's figure it out. Let's hold accountability. Let's work through things together. And I think when you're feeling anxious and you're feeling overwhelmed and you have adrenal fatigue, it's really hard to make that commitment because it's just like, oh, I can't make a decision, so I'll just do it later. And I get it because I've been there. And sometimes you just have to make the decision and trust it's the right decision and just run with it. So whatever decision you do make, commit to it 100%. That's really all you can do, right? Um, can you recommend a drink for supporting adrenals? Water, coconut water, one spec? Both, actually. Water is absolutely essential. Just plain old, filtered water, absolutely essential, at least half your body weight in ounces. Coconut water is great because it adds electrolytes in. So if you tend to be dehydrated, that's a great way to get some natural electrolytes. Sometimes you do need more, like a mineral, right? To really, really help get that absorption. So if you find you're drinking water and you're peeing it back out, which is very common in adrenal fatigue, usually it's because you're mineral deficient. So that's when we have to start working on diet. We have to start working on supplements to start to replete that. But yeah, I love coconut water. I love water. Sometimes the most natural, obvious thing is the best thing, right? We don't have to spend all this money on something to drink. We don't have to buy these fancy energy drinks and all of that. We can literally just drink water, which is a great way to go. Let's see, sparkle you do. Oh, thank you. We are a spark of divine light. I agree with you. Is sparkle the fifth pillar? Hard to articulate, but maybe, Steve. Maybe. I have my 4 pillars: nutrition, exercise, supplement, and mindset. And Steve is saying sparkle should be the 5th. Although I'd argue that sparkle is the outcome of addressing the 4 pillars all at once. You get there faster when you do it all together, right? That's just part of it. Okay, I'm gonna scroll back a little bit on Instagram. I saw a couple. Sweet tooth. Okay, when you have a sweet tooth, what's your indulgence? Chocolate? Yeah, actually. Well-sourced vegan chocolate. And I don't need a lot. I really don't ever have a true sweet tooth. I had one yesterday and I ate blueberries. I just reached in and grabbed and you know why I got them? I probably would have grabbed for something worse, but they were right in front of me in the fridge, which is one of my biggest tricks. When you find yourself wanting to snack and you can never find anything, put some apples, put some little oranges, put some blueberries, some raspberries in little bowls, first thing in your fridge. So when you open the fridge, you can literally just grab them. I do that with grapes a lot too. So while I'm sitting there staring at the fridge going, what do I want to eat? I'm like eating blueberries, right? And then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm okay. I don't feel hungry anymore. And I go back about what I'm doing, right? So those are some great things you can do. But I do love chocolate. And typically I'll take a small little square and I just put it on my tongue. I don't even chew it and I just let it melt. I always think that I like sweets. Like when I have parties and stuff, I'll make like vegan cheesecakes and oh my God, they're divine, right? Or like my chocolate tart, which is made out of avocados. Love it. It's so good. And I'll have the first piece and I'm like, oh my God, this was so good. And then maybe the next day I'll have a piece and then I literally don't want it anymore. It's like my body has like a cap. It's like, okay, that was fun. Take care. Not going to do it for a while. And those are healthy ones, but those are some of my indulgences. I'm definitely a chocolate gal for sure. I'm not interested in like hard candies. I'm not really, someone in Disneyland, they were like, oh darn, we don't have a vegan dessert for you, but we have a sorbet. We have a raspberry sorbet. I was like, I don't want it. Like, if I'm going to eat fruit, I'll just eat raspberries. I don't need the sorbet. So what would cause pancreas to not make enough enzymes? All lab tests come back normal and all imaging as well. Enzymes alone and stool test. Great question. This is a fantastic example of how the traditional screening will look for disease. So first of all, congratulations. There's no disease there. Awesome. That's great. It's great news. This always should be done because we don't want to miss disease. But the bottom line is our pancreas releases enzymes when we eat, and it releases enzymes to break down food, to digest, right? So when we talked about earlier, we got fight or flight, we got rest or digest. When does pancreatic enzymes work? When do they work? They work in rest and digest. So if you're in fight or flight and you're running from a bear, guess what, guys? Your pancreas is not going to release enzymes at the rate it needs to raise it. Okay. So number one, there's an adrenal fatigue there. I can pretty much say that right now. Adrenal dysfunction. Absolutely. Take my quiz. I guarantee you there's one there. Number two, you have to, one, start replenishing the enzymes in the meantime, which is using a digestive enzyme when you eat, right? I had to do this for 10 years. Someone said you will always be on digestive enzymes once you're on them. I no longer take them because I address my adrenal fatigue. So now my body spends enough time in rest and digest that the enzymes have now taken back over in my body and I don't always need them, except when I travel. Why? Because I'm in fight or flight when I travel, because it's different. It's not my routine. I'm traveling. Maybe I'm doing something that makes me nervous. I don't know. Like, it usually takes me a couple days. So I found like when I was in Disneyland, the first 2 days I had to use enzymes. I didn't have to use them the third day because I adapted. I got used to my environment. I was chill. I was having a great time. I calmed down and my body started digesting, right? So when we are under stress, when our bodies are under stress, we don't break down food. When we don't break down food, we get nutrition deficiencies. These nutritional deficiencies cause more stress on the body. So you may be coming back over there saying, nope, Dr. Pingel, I meditate every day. I'm chill. I'm not stressed out. But if your enzymes have not been working, you're deficient in something. And if you're deficient in something, that's stressful to the body, whether it be protein, whether it be carbohydrate, whether it be fats, whether it be vitamin C, magnesium, B vitamins, something. There's something deficient because that's the side effect, right? So if the low enzymes are showing up in the stool, it means that the body is being downregulated. Does that make sense? It's not digesting well. So you have to support that while you heal the cause. You heal the cause by addressing the adrenal dysfunction. I can help you with that. Reach out. Reach out. Okay. My book has a whole chapter on that too. Might not be a bad thought. But I'll grab my book so you guys can see it. It'll be backwards, of course, but that's okay. Okay. Here it is, backwards in all its glory. I have a whole chapter on gut. In fact, my book talks about how stress, how adrenals are involved in every single medical condition that is prevalent in our society and what you can do about it. And it's an introduction to the 4 pillars that Steve mentioned earlier. My online program is a live program. So that runs with me heading it. It's not simply a self-study. It's self-study combined with live Q&As, live videos, things like that. So that's a level up from the book, quite a level up from the book. But if you kind of just want an overview and you're like, gosh, I kind of want to learn more about what she's talking about, this is a great start. No, I do not have an audiobook yet. I know you guys are going to ask. No, I do not have a Kindle version yet, but I'm working on that. So I hope that helped. All right. I think we've hit our time, guys. Oh, wait. I see something from Erin. I'll hit that up and then I'm out. There seems to be so many things that can cause anxiety that most regular medical doctors usually do not even investigate, like dehydration. Yep. Reducing sugar and caffeine. Yep. Adrenal fatigue. Yep. Constipation. Yep. Physical stress. Yep. Toxins in the body. Yep. Nutritional deficiencies. Yep. Wireless radiation. Yep. Sedentary lifestyle and trauma. They usually just write a prescription. All of the things you mentioned, dehydration, cravings for sugar, caffeine, constipation, toxins, nutritional deficiency, impacts from radiation, right? Sedentary lifestyle. These are all side effects of adrenal dysfunction. So it doesn't matter. Like, I see you put it in there, which is awesome. You put adrenal fatigue, but all those things are impacted from the adrenal glands. And if you don't support the adrenal glands, you can get all the grounding mats you want. You can take all the supplements you want. You can, reduce sugar and caffeine. It won't 100% go away until you address the adrenal function. It just won't, because it's part of the whole picture. And when you address those, the goal is to reduce the stress on the body. So you have to give the body what it needs so that it actually can start to relax. It actually can go into rest and digest. And when it does, the body will actually take back over. And then you don't have to continue with all those things, which is what I love. Is like, I used to take like 40 supplements and now I take like 10, right? It moves down when your body takes back over again, right? So you guys have been awesome today. I hope this was helpful. If you were new to my live today, welcome. Really nice to have you. I'm here every Friday. I'll be back next Friday. And if you guys need any help, you want to know about how I can help you, send a DM, send a message through, if you're on Facebook and Instagram, just send it through Messenger. If you are on LinkedIn or YouTube, I don't know if you can message me in LinkedIn. Absolutely. I'm not sure about YouTube. But you can always go to my website, drpingel.com. Reach out through there too. So would love to help you guys. If you are interested in possibly a 4-month cleanse, shoot me a message, okay? Because I'm really thinking about trying to figure out how to offer it. But I need to have some interest too, because I want to put it together well. So if I have enough people interested, I'll put the time in to do it. Okay. All right. You guys rock. Thanks for being here today. See you next week. If this was great, if you loved it, share it, tag your friend, get them here next week. Let's do this together. And for those of you that I see starting Monday in my Total Energy Turnaround Program, let's do it. I'm so ready. And for those of you that still want to join in, you have till tonight. So thetotalenergyturnaround.com. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.